I doing that? Okay. It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is This Movie Time.
Rawr.
I'm wondering why I asked you to join me today, Kevin, and I realized it's because with your capacious memory, it wasn't necessary for me to spend a couple of days trying to get up on Jurassic lore.
Yeah. Well, it's not because I'm a dinosaur.
And that too. So we're looking at Jurassic World Dominion.
Yes.
No colon on that.
No colon, and has nothing to do with the Minions. Although I would watch that movie with dinosaurs and the little yellow guys from Despicable Me. I'd watch that.
Oh gosh, yeah. So what's going on in this one? This is the third world or the second world?
It's the third Jurassic World,
right.
Sixth Jurassic Park movie. That's not counting like they have like Camp Cretaceous on Netflix.
Okay.
And these sort of like kid shows and stuff like that. So it's the sixth movie they've done. And it merges the cast. You know, legacy sequels are very popular. Obviously, Top Gun did extremely well, and bringing back the Star Wars movies and stuff like that. So they bring back Stan Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum.
We don't consider Bryce Dallas Howard in that.
No, she's from the Jurassic World movies.
Okay.
Yeah, her and Chris Pratt were in those the ones they made in 2015, 2018.
Jurassic World.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I didn't. Instinctively, I didn't include them in the old dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're not part of the old crew. It's Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum from the original Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3, which were in the 90s.
Okay.
Well, Jurassic Park 3, I think, was 2000.
And they hadn't appeared in the world?
Jeff Goldblum had a very, very brief cameo in the last Jurassic World movie, which was disappointing when that one came out because you wanted more Jeff Goldblum. and so they merged the two. I mean, each group have their own plot lines. You know, like the new people, Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, are trying to save the Velociraptor, and there's this girl that we found out in the last movie was a clone, and so they're trying to save her.
Right, yes.
I know it gets a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
And then the legacy people are trying to uncover the mystery of another biotech company bringing to life prehistoric creatures.
Biosyn.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was that's subtle, but like they have like locusts the size of house cats. Why anyone would do that for any reason, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And for me, it just takes time away from the dinos, which is why I really go with these movies.
I don't want to see the insects. I don't want to see grasshoppers.
But isn't that the point? They are annoying.
Well, and here's the thing. I love seeing the legacy people in it. They were fun to watch.
Yes.
Because, they're classic. But if you go back and you watch the original Jurassic Park or read the book that Crichton wrote, late 80s, early 90s, what was so magical about that is you read it, and Crichton was such a good and he was so good at science. You read this and you're like, or watch it and go, if they could make that, they could get the science right on that. This could actually work. This is a plausible thing. For the record, it's hogwash. I mean, DNA does not last more than 5,000 years. It breaks down.
Okay.
So you can't pull it out of it. So it's hogwash, but it's extremely believable hogwash.
It is good.
But we've gotten to the point now where it's Saturday morning cartoon nonsense. They're riding dinosaurs like horses, and I mean, it really has gotten ridiculous.
Well, Kev, you're reminding me that now I have to say I'm one of the only critics that really enjoyed this one.
I heard you did like it.
I liked it, but because I have a certain paradigm for summer.
Okay.
And this
big summer movie.
Yes, this works for me in the summer. I take away any sharp critical opinion.
Sure.
And I go on and I try to understand what it's like to go on a beautiful Dolby experience with this and laugh with my friends because there's nobody else in the audience and that kind of thing. So I could, but I mean every criticism I've read is absolutely spot on. And, none of it makes any sense at all.
Well, I mean, like for me, I say this, I treat this kind of like a Transformers movie. It depends on what your level, whatever your level of requirements are.
Yes, the expectations.
If you're like, are there dinosaurs and do they eat people? The answer is yes, and you're going to love the movie because that exists in this film. But if you want anything more, unless if you're a big, I was a huge fan of the first movie, the very, very first movie, Jurassic Park. And Jurassic World I thought was okay, but it had its flaws. And the second one, Fallen Kingdom, at least it wasn't as goofy as that one where they're at the end of that movie, they have like an auction to like arms dealers for these dinosaurs. And then they throw in that stupid thing with the girl being cloned. And I'm like, well, that's just unnecessary. Why complicate the plot even more? And I don't know if I'd use the term plot as much as just loose storylines.
Does not exist.
Crumbled together in a ball of aluminum foil.
You will have to admit, it's satisfactory to see Jeff Goldblum spouting more than one line in this one.
Oh no, I mean, I love them. I wasn't a huge fan of Laura Dern, but that's just because I'm
not sure they give her anything. It's a good point. I always expect more.
Here's the thing. I don't think Laura Dern's acted for the last 10 or 15 years. Every movie, she kind of comes in with this smug attitude of, I'm Laura Dern and you're happy to have me. Thank you very much. Whether she's doing some fiercely independent little movie or something like A Marriage Story or Star Wars, she kind of comes across the same way. I just don't think she's that great of an actor. But that's just me, in my anti-Laura Dern stance.
Well, in all of these, Kev, we have to have a substantial bad guy.
Yes.
He's usually the head of the lab or whatever this is.
Well, I mean, it's weird. The Jurassic Park movies don't, like the original Jurassic Park, I wouldn't call, the bad guys are the dinosaurs in that one. And that's, I think, one of the problems with this is the dinosaurs are secondary characters. Whereas, I mean, in the original Jurassic Park, there's people who caused the mayhem to happen. Hammond by building the park, Nedry by turning off the electronics and the fences. But really, the bad guys are the velociraptors trying to eat everything.
Yes. And I think that's one of the things where if you're going to be very critical about it, this one goes wrong is that they're not menacing enough. In fact, they're to the point where they're like pets. Now, and it doesn't work. For the reason you're saying, these are monsters who's going to steer. They're going to give you fear like you've not had before. And what is it? The one where T-Rex chases them in the original?
Just what, at the Jeep?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and there's a line by Laura Dern in the first movie. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have it exact, but it's something to the effect of where she says these are creatures from 65 million years ago that have no idea what century they're in, and they will defend themselves violently.
Yes.
And that's the essence of. I mean, it's sort of like it'd be the same thing as if you had a rampaging lion. It's dinosaurs.
Yeah. And they don't really give Chris Pratt much in this.
I think it's a crowded.
Yeah.
It's a crowded movie. I mean, you really have 5 main action heroes in this. 6 if you count the little girl. She's not that little. I mean, she's like 15.
Yeah. She looks young.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like each one has 3, and then they've thrown this other woman who's a pilot, so she's in there. It does get very.
How about ripping off Star Wars on her?
Well, everything rips off Star Wars.
I mean, as the new hot Han Solo.
Yeah, it's a really good-looking Han Solo. Hot Solo, is that what we're saying?
Good one. Yeah. So, and they're taking it from all over the place. So there's nothing really original here.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Campbell Scott as the leader of Biosyn.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if I call him the bad guy. I mean, he has nefarious.
Yeah, there you go.
Motives.
Yeah.
But it's also not like he's like, I'm gonna let loose these dinosaurs on the world. It wasn't like that. Yeah. It's just.
Well, don't you think he had good intentions very early on?
He had self-serving intentions. I mean, he had intentions that he did not expect to go badly like this.
Yes.
But I think that I mean that's he's not really the villain. He's as much the villain as who's the Indian guy who ran Jurassic World in the Jurassic World movie.
Oh yeah.
The guy who flew the helicopter and then crashing into the.
Yeah, and actually too, they've changed Dr. Wu here a bit.
Yeah, he has taken a turn. Hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm a little bit
surprised at it.
Yeah.
Well, because they were really leading up to him being almost a mustache twirling villain in the first 2 Jurassic World movies.
Yes.
And here he's like, well, it's funny, and I do have to admit, I'm not going to lie, I did doze off at a certain point in the movie.
Okay.
I don't think I missed anything, although, because I said, my wife was with me, and I said to her afterwards, I go, did something happen? Did I miss this thing? And she's like, no, he was just racked with guilt. I'm like, oh, well.
The reason you didn't is that they repeat.
Yeah, it's like watching a soap opera on Wednesdays.
Yeah, or one of those old time movies where they keep repeating it.
Yeah.
And all right, Kevin. So I'm not sure we're getting the recommendation from you. I'm giving the recommendation that it's an enjoyable summer film that has moments almost to remind you of the original. What's your feel?
Again, what's your threshold?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are there and they eat people, so if you want the spectacle, absolutely, you'll get that. But if you want something a little more smart, something that doesn't take place in a cartoon,
yeah,
you may want to go back to the original Jurassic Park.
Yep, and it's summer, and some of our theaters are so tricked out so beautifully that it's a great experience. And I had it in Dolby, and that was truly, my seat actually moved just a little bit.
Okay.
Every time the dinosaur hits the ground with his foot, my seat goes a little like this, and I'm thrilled. Now, I know there are people who are waiting for us to say more, but we don't have any time left. But I know that they can turn on to the podcast experience on WCDE and hear us on Back Talk.
Yes, hear more dinosaurs.